Well, hello there, my name is Peter Thomson. I'm delighted to be with you again and have this opportunity to share with you some more tried and tested and proven ideas. And as you know, over the last few videos, we've been talking about the selling process. And I've been suggesting that there's a 6-stage process that we can follow along with on the basis of it sits on an agenda. It's opening, it's gathering, it's presenting, it's adjusting, it's concluding, and it's following. And we've talked in some depth about the opening. And we've talked in some depth about the gathering. And if you remember in the last video, what I was saying was, don't try and sell people stuff. Be convincing, don't try and convince. And craft questions that allow people to sell themselves in their answers to those cleverly crafted questions. Most of the presenting or demonstrating side will come along in that gathering. As you're gathering a piece of information, you then will have an opportunity to talk about how you can deal with that problem or capitalize on the opportunity that's been brought up by the question. Then at the end of that period, at some stage, you're going to move into the presenting, which is usually the confirmation of what you've been doing in the gathering stage. And that's why it's usually so short, because it enables the person to confirm the decision they nearly made at the headline and they probably almost completely made during the course of the gathering stage. So it doesn't need to be too long. It certainly doesn't need to be rushed, but it can be smoothly done in a short period of time. Now, it may well be you decide to do a demonstration rather than a presentation. I remember years ago I went on my NLP practitioner course, and it was by Dr. Richard Bandler, the co-originator of NLP. It was a week's course, a week's intensive course. It was Paul McKenna, the world famous hypnotist, and it was also by Michael Breen. Michael Breen, a fascinating character. I got to know him. I got to interview him later. And he was also kind enough to provide me on a monthly basis an audio recording called 7 Minutes with Michael Breen that I used to include in my Achievers Edge audio program. I also asked Michael to speak on a couple of my open seminars, which he did, and he was fantastic. And one of the things he shared with the audience members on those seminars was how to do a demonstration rather than a presentation. So I wonder if there's an opportunity with what you do to be able to do a demonstration rather than a presentation. First point. Second point, if we're going to be doing a presentation, then this is what I believe we should include. There are two major parts. The first part is the offering. And the offering, which is different from the offer, in the offering stage, what we want to be including is clarity that we're addressing the right problem that the client, customer or patient has told us about just before we launch into it. Or perhaps it's an opportunity that we're trying to capitalize on for them. Maybe it's that. Or maybe it's a negative future problem if they don't take the actions or buy the product that we're talking about. So it could be a towards motivated negative. It could be that. More of that on another video at another day. So it's certainly that. Then we talk about the features and the benefits and the advantages that we're going to be able to provide for that particular client within what it is that we're offering, whether it's a product or a service. Then we're looking at the outcomes and confirming, providing of course we can, that we're able to get them the outcome that they're looking for, which was based on the initial part of our gathering stage. Now, the things that are usually missed, there's two things that are usually missed when people are doing this part, the offering part of the presentation. And the first one is why we deliver it in the way in which we're suggesting. So let's say, for example, that we were talking about a training course, just to make an easy example of this. One way of delivering a training course would be online. One way would be offline. So if we were delivering an online program, we would be explaining the specific benefits of it being delivered in this way. For example, no travel costs, there's no hotel costs, it's less expensive time-wise for delegates. Maybe it's those types of benefits. Or if it was being delivering live, and let's say, for example, it was at an open seminar, then we would talk about the fact that there were other companies attending and therefore the ticket price could be lower, the fact that it could be more interactive because we were going to be longer together in the room, the delegates' attention would be held because there would be a live presenter and able to answer questions on the fly, or various other reasons you could come up with. But certainly we need to be answering the question why it's going to be delivered in the way in which we're suggesting, or why it's the particular product that we might be suggesting. And the second part that's often missed is why our option, our solution is better than other solutions. Now, I don't mean by this why it's better than other people who supply this solution, what some people call competitors. I think of it as other suppliers. I don't think there are competitors in that way, but it's just my way of thinking about business. But certainly, what are the other options for getting the outcomes that they want? So, for example, if I was talking to somebody about helping them, one of the other options for them to get the outcome they want was to do some of the things I've done in the past, was to invest the time, invest the money, invest the energy, make the mistakes. All of the things that's happened in the past would have led to my knowledge, experience and expertise. So I think it's a good idea to point out the other options, because very often that gives us the chance to talk about the contrast between the cost of getting the outcome one way and the cost of getting the outcome our way. So that's the first part of the presenting stage. The second part is the offer, and this is the difference between the offering and the offer. The offering is what it is, it's what it has, it's what it does for somebody, and why it's delivered in that way. Whereas the offer part is the contrast that I just mentioned, particularly the pricing, the terms that come into play, because that's really, really important, and of course any bonuses or extras that come into that offer part. In effect, the offering is what it's all about, and the offer is the money part of the deal. So I hope that all made sense for you. You can take these ideas away, work on them, and get greater clarity for yourself when it comes to the presenting side of the 6-stage process. Clarity, particularly with the offering and the offer. Then obviously the next stage is going to be the adjusting stage, and after that it's going to be the CTA, or the closing, or the call to action, and I'll give you some more of my tried and tested and proven ideas on that. So for the moment, I wish you every success in applying these ideas, but of course every success in all your adventures in life as you continue to have freedom from anything that may have held you back, and freedom to be, do and have whatever you set your heart and mind upon, always in that order. To be it first, to do it afterwards, to have it afterwards. So thinking of that, I will have my cup of tea, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Then click to watch the next video. Remember to visit our website at peterthomson.com and download your free copy of my latest book, How to Write Your Business Book in 5 days or less. Until next time, every success.